Hi guys, welcome to Saltwater Saturday on Life of Gaz. This is where I aim to put a new sea fishing video on every Saturday at 5 PM. Hi guys, welcome to Life of Gaz, and today I'm fishing out here on the Gynn wall. I've got my brother Charlie just setting up there. I've got Lexi just sitting down here, and hopefully we're going to catch some fish. Now, it isn't the best weather. It is absolutely blisteringly hot, the sea's crystal clear, and it's easterly. So, we're going to have to put the work in to catch some. Luckily, we've got 5 rods between us, and fingers crossed, one of them, if it catches a fish, will be a successful day. Now the rigs I'm using today, I've got a 3-hook flapper rig, I've got a floating attractor up there, clear water, they do the trick usually. So fingers crossed that's going to do something. And then I've got a panel pulley just there, which is going to wang out way into the middle of that gully. So this is a quick message on obviously collecting weights off the beach. I've been down on the beach for a little walk today. I went down around North Pier, and this is what I found. So if anyone does go out collecting weights, make sure you take the rest of it with you. I've got a shock leader and I've got a number of rigs. Now all of these rigs here, and these actually, the Ockeyes actually look fairly decent, I might keep them, the rest of them I'll chop up. But all of these rigs here have got hooks in them. I've counted them up, there's 11 in total. And the bit of beach which is down by North Pier is a bit of beach which is used by dogs, which is used by kids playing in the sea. And the last thing you want if you're out on the beach with the kids is someone getting a hook in their foot. Also, it's not great for the environment, as lots of these still had bait on them. So animals will pick that up and that'll be the end of them, and that's not the nicest death out there. So if you do go out picking weights up, make sure you take all these bits with you, even if you just throw them in the bin and don't recycle anything off of them. Just going to look at Lex's setup. She's got one of my little spinning rods. This is a freshwater rod, so even if we pick up a tiny little dab on it, it's going to look fairly impressive. And I've just made a little rudimentary scratching rig just here. I've got a blood loop acting as a bit of a boom down to a very small hook, and I'm going to fish a 2-hook version of that. I've got a 3-ounce weight on. It's the smallest one I've got in my box. Possibly a little bit too heavy, but it's going to get it down there and it's going to keep the bait where we need it. So Lex is going to have a go at casting this out, and she's learning to cast today. So we're going to let her have a go and see how we do. So it's the first fish of the day down here. Got a little place. That one's out at a lot of distance. Luckily we've got an easterly wind and I can throw that weight quite a long way. Happy to see it come over, especially this early in the tide, as hopefully that's a sign of things to come. So for you guys who are new to this channel, you may wonder why I'm putting the weight up inside the gills of the fish, and that's because it's quite a steep drop down to the water, especially this early in the tide. So to try and protect the fish as much as I can and release them as delicately as I can, what I do is I just thread the anchor up through the gill of the fish and then lower the fish down gently to the water. This is something which I especially make sure I do with whiting, as they are incredibly delicate fish who don't tend to survive that big drop. Although the bait still looked good after catching that fish, I just always make a habit of changing it, and I always feel that if I've got a fresher bait on or a more intact bait, then I'll stand a better chance of picking up fish. Also, if there are prawns and crabs out there which tend to strip the bait, this means obviously the fresher bait, there's more of it and they're not going to cause so much damage so quickly. At this stage we were coming up closer to high tide and it had been pretty much biteless ever since that first bite I got very early on. And I was starting to worry that Lexi wasn't going to get a chance to even see a bite, let alone catch a fish on a rod. And then all of a sudden this happened. Unfortunately though, the fish had let go, but I've recalled as a silver lining, at least Lexi had another chance at casting, and she was actually starting to get quite good at it and managing to cast all on her own. After missing that first bite, all of a sudden this happened, and what a hell of a bite that is. And fishing a soft rod in the sea, it's always going to look good. And luckily Lexi knew to jump up, strike into it, set the hook, and then together we brought it in. So before we get this guy unhooked, just tell you a little bit about this towel. Someone made a comment on my channel, obviously about warm rocks not being great for fish like this. So I bought a wet towel in a bag, and this is obviously going to protect the fish by not sitting them flat on the dry concrete. But it's time for Lexi to show off the first fish that she's caught all on her own, which is her flounder.
My first fish is a flounder.
Are you happy?
Yeah.
And you caught that one all on your own, didn't you?
Yeah.
Oh, well done. Unfortunately, I didn't have an anchor weight so I could lower this fish down, so he got dropped off of the wall. Luckily, he went back in quite well. Well guys, unfortunately that is all I've got time for today. It's high tide and it's time to go home and get tea. I've had a little place. Lexi, what did you have?
Flounder.
And Char, what's this place called?
Blank pool.
Char blanked. But like I said, incredibly hard to fish on today. The weather's just not with us. But all being said, if you've enjoyed this episode, make sure you hit the subscribe button just here. Check out my latest fishing video over there, my sea fishing playlist up top.